I always feel bad when we have these town halls and you've just listened to me for a whole hour and then I just start talking again. I don't know that you all want to hear me, but I am really excited to see so many of you sticking around, and we will try to be really attentive to time and make sure that we're honoring everybody's space. The Project Cornerstone is a big project, and there's a lot of people involved, and so we are always building on this idea that we are not the only people included in this conversation, but we are a valued and important part of this conversation. And so what I want you to know is today we're really going to focus on things that are happening in our building primarily, except for one topic, and the way it's going to affect our church. I want to name, because lots of people have come to talk to me about it, there are some signs in the neighborhood, if you walk around, that say that there's some people who are upset about the new Fraser building. And I want to name 3 things about that. We absolutely honor that it is going to be different. We're going to build a large 4-story building right there. It is going to impact the neighborhood. We can make room for people to express that. Secondly, they are not giving fully accurate information. So I am working really hard that when neighborhood people reach out to me, we make sure that we are giving the most accurate information about the project that we can. So I just want to make sure everybody here knows Fraser is not buying Horizons. They are not tearing down the middle school. They are not building anything on that side of Pawnee. They will not be taking over the open space or the park in any way, shape, or form. And I say that as a member of the board. If for some reason that changes, I will let you all know. But the scope of the project that we are involved in does not include anything on the west side of Pawnee. It only includes our property and Fraser's property and Ponca, which is the street between us. So, as you see those signs, if you talk to someone and they are anxious, I would say, please make room for their anxiety so that they can ask some clear questions and maybe invite them to either contact the people at Fraser or to contact me here at the church. I'm happy to take meetings with people. There's only so much we can do to make, right? People might still be unhappy. That happens. The other thing I would say is there's about 8 signs in the neighborhood, and there's about 130 homes in the neighborhood, and there's about 800 residences in Fraser. Is that right? 800? In Fraser. So when we think about the statistics of the number of people who are unhappy, let's be really clear about how sometimes images become really like, oh, there's a lot of people who are building up this energy, but it's actually a really, really small percentage. And there's a lot of people who live in this neighborhood who are on the wait list for Fraser. And most of them are not unhappy about this proposed new building because it increases the number of residences available under the care of Fraser. All right, that's my little soapbox. Happy to talk to people. Please send them my way. Please, give people room, but don't let them tell things that are not true, if possible. All right, Brian, next slide. The one thing we're going to talk about that is not interior to our building is moving the water main. So in order for this project to move forward, we have talked about how Fraser would like to vacate Ponca, which means making it no longer a public street. It doesn't mean you will not be able to drive on it. It actually will still be a drivable street, but it will become predominantly a space for walking and bicycles. And so the first thing that we have to do before anything else can happen with the project is move the water main from Ponca to Pawnee. This has been delayed since August, which is when we thought it was going to happen. We said it could not happen over Christmas Eve, which it didn't, which was very nice. But we now do believe we have some dates, though the city has not fully confirmed, because every timeline is based on something going on at the city, right? So right now, the timeline is March 6th to April 6th. Pawnee will be up in arms. So what I will say about that is, yes, that crosses over Easter, which does not make me ecstatic, but it will be just fine. Our south entrance to the parking lot, where you come in off of Sioux, should be open for the whole time. There shouldn't ever be a time where the entrance off of Sioux is not able to come in. A portion of Pawnee on one side of the street will be closed during that month-long period while they work on the water main. And it will be closed at different points between Ponca all the way down to Sioux, because they're gonna keep doing small chunks of it. Now, the city has also come back to Fraser and said, well, not only do you have to do that, but you actually have to take it from Ponca all the way to Thunderbird. So there will be some additional upheaval in trying to get that portion done. And what we don't know yet is whether they'll start at Ponca and head towards Thunderbird, or start at Ponca and head towards Sioux. They are leaning towards heading towards Sioux, which would be the part in front of us first. But as I said, we're not the only decision makers, and there's always more people involved in the conversation, and this was kind of a new place for us to be in. We just found out these dates on Friday. So we will continue to keep the community as informed as possible. There will be two ways that I am hoping to keep the community informed consistently. In the Friday e-blast every week during the rebuild project, when something is not in its normal place, I will have a block of text that says, don't forget, Pawnee is closed from here to here, and you need to come in the south entrance on Sioux. Secondly, when you open the QR code on the back of the bulletin, there will be 3 different places you can open in what's called our link tree. If you don't know what a link tree is, it's just a bunch of links on a page. There will be one that says Project Cornerstone, and if you click on that link, it will always give you what we believe is coming up in the next week. So on Sunday morning, when you're here, if you want to know what you might encounter over the next 6 days as you plan when you're coming to church, you can open that QR code, hit the thing that says Project Cornerstone, and every week I will try to keep an updated bit of information. So if you have questions, always call the church, and we'll be happy to return your call or answer whatever questions you have. Anything about that? Yeah.
So the water main is under the street, is that right? And you have to move it to a different street?
Yes. Yep, and they also have to move the rest of the utilities, actually. So they're pulling out internet and phone from Ponca also. Anybody else? All right, I'm handing it off to Sarah. Do you want this one or that one? Or that one? Okay. Scott, she's going to use the pulpit.
Sorry, is that an issue or do you want me to do? Thanks. One point of clarification is that Pawnee will always be open from north to south. Sarah, the mic's not on. Okay.
Now? Now we're good. Okay. So I was just going to say the one point of clarification is that Pawnee will always be open from north to south. You won't be able to go south to north, but you can go north to south. All right, next slide, please. So I am going to talk about the interior designs of the church. Next slide, please. Thank you. All right, so one thing is that when we originally talked about plans, we talked about maybe we would put a small addition on the front of the church. And as we have worked through things, we are going to put an addition on the front of the church. And it is going to hold the staff offices. It is also going to hold a 12-person conference room that will have lovely views out the front to the mountains, and it will be open to all church groups to use. We think it's going to become a pretty premier space. It will have great AV, it will have nice, it will just feel good, and it will be a nice conference table with cushy chairs. It will have a kitchenette, and it will be well connected to the narthex. I think maybe when we first talked about this, it was a pretty tight, like, little hallway out into there, but we've designed it now so that it really opens, so that it will be fully connected to the narthex. Yeah, so that's that. Next slide, please. In the narthex itself, and these plans are not finalized, but these are the general outlines. The bathrooms, which I've heard a lot of concern about as I've been talking to many of you, is that we are actually going to have more bathrooms than we have now in the narthex. So right now we have 2 stalls. When we are finished with all of this, what we are looking at is a women's bathroom that will have 3 stalls, a men's bathroom that will have a stall and a urinal, which is not a word I ever thought I would say from the pulpit, and a family non-gender specific bathroom also. So there will be a total of 6 places. We are also going to, I can't come up with a good general word for that that's just not weird and gross. So anyway, we are going to move the entrances slightly to the north from where they are right now, which means that as you go out the building toward the parking lot, toward the west, you will actually see the mountains. It takes us out of range of the new Fraser building. And we're just gonna realign the space. There are some big box things in front of the stairs, and one of those we're slating to go away. So there will be a little bit more floor space. We can maybe put a seating area in there. That is not finalized yet, but we're looking at doing that, and then in the other one will be storage space. Okay, next slide, please. Downstairs in Barker, we are going to put in 3 classrooms, essentially where the storage rooms and stage are right now. Those things will go away, and they will be replaced by an 8-person, 10-person, and 20-person classroom. 3 separate classrooms. We had originally talked about having movable walls in there, but apparently those are quite expensive, and also we need them to be soundproofed. Because that's another thing we have heard a lot about is the quality of sound, sound bleeding, whatever. So those are all designed to be as sound tight as we can. We are working on what to do with the kitchen side of Barker, and that is not finalized yet. We may take the wall out that's there that makes the hallway. We may choose to keep it. We're sort of leaning toward taking it out because it gives us a little extra space. But again, that is not cast in stone yet. Do I have, yes, okay. The family ministry space, which is children and youth, that will be in where the offices are right now downstairs. That will become the children's space. So those walls will go away, and it will be reconfigured to have one space specifically for kids, one space specifically designed for youth, but there will be a movable wall so it can open up. And Larissa, as soon as we told her that, she said, "Oh, that's great. So when we have youth groups come visit, we can just blow that open. We can have lots of space for the kids." So know that Larissa is in on these conversations, and she's very enthusiastic about it. Storage, obviously, is a major thing down there, and we are planning for that. The architects originally said, let's put in a 4-foot deep closet. We said things will get lost in there. So we're pulling it back and putting a 1-foot storage on the back space. So you essentially just have doubled what you can do. So we're looking and trying to come up with creative ways to maximize storage in a small footprint. The other thing we're going to do, when we first talked about this, we had talked about maybe putting a lift from up to down to allow wheelchairs into Barker Hall. We have abandoned that plan, but we are going to put a ramp out of the family ministry area to the east that will go up so that kids can go from the children's space directly out up and play, because that's where the swing set is going to be, that is between our two spaces. That's also just a big grassy area that we can go run around. Yeah, so that's that part. Next one, thank you. It's magic, I just think and it changes. The next one is the music ministry space, which will be the upstairs. So where it's currently the youth room and the nursery space, that's where the music ministry will be. So we're gonna design that as one big, large room for choir rehearsals and recital space. We're planning to take the grand piano that's currently down in Barker and bring that up into that space so we have a nice piano. There will be plenty of storage for music and instruments and whatever else we need. Again, we haven't quite finalized that, but the goal is to have a lovely space, again, with views of the mountains that people will want to use. And okay, thank you. And then the next one that we've heard from a number of people is that the balcony is not ideally set at the moment. There is an amazing dude who works up there and has this incredible AV system that he works. And we honor that, but the space where he works is not ideal for people in the balcony to be able to see out. So we're looking at different options. Maybe it will go up in the back. Maybe it'll cantilever off to the side. We have not come up with a firm plan for that, but we are looking at options to make seating more usable for people who are actually attending concerts or worship. And the other thing is, you will know that that is a very solid wall up there that prevents people in the front rows up there from being able to see. So we're looking at opening it up, probably with rails, so that people can see through and be connected to the rest of the sanctuary space. We talked about putting like solid glass or something. I know that shows up in a lot of places, but the architect pointed out that's not great for sound, because that's a solid surface that will bounce the sound back and it'll get really full of reverberations. And so by keeping it open, it mitigates that. So these are the things we are talking about. And then what we call the chapel space, which is the space under the balcony, we're going to be very intentional about what we do back there. There will be some additional storage probably going back there. We're going to reconfigure what's there. We're going to make the doors more attractive. We may or may not close those windows that are there so that when people are worshiping, it will feel like worship space and not feel like storage space. And the other thing is we are contemplating putting maybe wood paneling on the underside of the balcony to connect it to the rest of the sanctuary and make it, again, feel like a worship space. I think. Yeah. Oh, no. Yes, good clarification. Yeah, it's the ones into the cry room. And so for those of you who are concerned about having space for babies to go, the solution that we are looking at for people who are uncomfortable staying in here with crying babies is to have worship live streamed out into the narthex so that they can go out there, still be connected to the service. I believe. Yes, ma'am?
Whether that be Alcoholics Anonymous or...
We are planning very deliberately for that, yes.
And where would that be?
Well, so I am meeting with all of our, as you know, I am meeting with groups of all of you. If you haven't seen me yet, inevitably you will. I'm trying to hit as many groups as I can. But I am also meeting with all of our current renters, including AA and NA, because we are being very deliberate in planning to be able to accommodate all of those. I can't tell you precisely where they're going. My suspicion is that they will go into the youth and children's space. They might go into the music space, they might go into the Barker, but I think it will probably be youth and children because that has the external entrance. Which brings me to the next point, which is that in this new configuration, nobody will have full ownership for any of these spaces. They will all be multi-purpose, they will all be shared. Yep.
I have two dumb questions.
Bring
One
on.
is the office unit is on the front of the church.
Yep.
Like, with all due respect, where's the front of the church?
That's a great question. And so one of the things that we are looking at, and this is exterior, not interior, which is not the topic, but is we're looking to put a steeple on the corner of, or a spire, on the front corner of it that will lead everyone directly to the front entrance, which is more or less where it is, just slightly to the north of that.
So, but that means the office unit is kind of over here.
Correct. And you will enter between the sanctuary and the office.
Great. And the second question, even dumber, is, am I correct in assuming that the music space and family space is really just remodeling
Yes.
the existing structure?
Not a dumb question at all, and that is precisely what will happen.
Thank you very much.
Yep. Yes, ma'am. Awesome question. The question was, will the address of the church change? And that's kind of up to us. It could, it doesn't have to. Should it? And therein lies the excitement of asking opinions. All right. Any other questions? Was there a question?
No, Ken is just pointing out that if we change the address, then the Google Maps people, et cetera, will come to the right place instead of end up on Contact and wonder how to
Yeah. Google Maps has been changed to put the entrance on that side, or this side, but it doesn't always work. So, yeah, it's up in the air. We have not yet decided. Yes, ma'am?
So then nothing with the front of the sanctuary is changing?
That is correct.
Can you post drawings in the narthex as they're completed, or maybe even in temporary?
So when we get to the point that there are drawings to share, we will share them. It will probably have another town hall. Yes, we will post them. We will distribute them. Other questions? Awesome question.
She asked about timeline.
So I hesitate to say much of anything because everything is up in the air. Honestly, it is all up in the air. As of this moment in time, I don't even know that I wanted. I mean, I can tell you things. Should I?
I'm happy to speak to this.
Yeah.
So here's the piece that I think Sarah is hedging on, and that I would say, we can tell you, and then tomorrow we can go to a meeting and it will all change.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing, is that you can't leave this meeting and go, well, Megan and Sarah said that's what's gonna happen and here's the time. You just gotta be patient. So right now, it looks as though we would start demolition. Well, actually, there is a hope that we will be able to start rebuilding Barker before we fully demo the south end of the building, which would be awesome because it
Yeah.
would mean we would have classrooms in place before our classrooms are then gone. So that is one of the hopes. And all of this probably right now starts in January of next year. So January
A
of
year from now.
2027, we're really gonna start to see some major changes in the land, in the building, and other places that affect us.
But again, that
Yep.
is not in stone. Do not leave this room and say this is happening because
Yeah, and if you go to Fraser and you say that, they're gonna be like, no. Because some of those changes are our interior changes that don't impact Fraser. And we are doing work with our lawyer and our legal team, along with their legal team, to come up with what our shared use policy will be for our shared space as we get ready to sell the land. So that's a really big part of our current work, alongside our work with the architects. Somebody had their hand raised. Terry.
There are no stupid questions. Truly, there are not.
You don't have to stand up. You can use this.
Okay, so I'm not this kind of artist, but I know that one can announce a commission piece for, like, I don't know, lots and lots of money. So there are people, artists that do profound work, and I have seen the old organ stored away, and I'm wondering if there's any way we could put that online as a commission piece for this church, using old organ parts, because they're so beautiful, and possibly a sound artist. I'm not any of those things, so I'm not thinking of me. I'm thinking of how amazing if we could make this monumental piece that talks about music and the glory of God, and just how great it can be, monumental. That's my big thought, and that's it. Thank you.
I think we would love to incorporate art. I think we haven't gotten that far yet, would be a fair statement. And I don't know that we will have buckets of money to spend on such things.
Oh, I know that there's this 1%, that's for public art. For public art, that would be with government. This is not government, so we would have to fundraise for art, okay?
I don't know if it necessarily has to be separate. This is a new building, and it is separate. Okay.
We're not government.
All right. Terry, we're gonna put the note, though, in our amazing spreadsheet,
Yes.
of which all of you have helped populate. So thank you to Sarah, who has gone and met with many of your groups.
Still ongoing. If you haven't seen me, you will.
Yeah, and we really are looking at that thing all the time. I want to take 5 more minutes, and Bonnie's going to offer us some information about what's happening in the south end of the building, but Carl's going to ask a question first.
I just want to know, what does the parking look like now?
What does the parking look like now for the next year? The only thing that will shift in the parking in the immediate, so imagining for like the next 12 months, is they're gonna put some equipment in the southwest corner of the parking lot to help with the water main.
Like a 20 by 20 space. It's
Yeah.
not big.
And that is actually space that we already don't have because we rent it to Fraser.
Do you mean in the end plan?
The parking in general. Go in the long run. 78?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so a small parking lot out front of the building on the west side, 60-some parking spots in the underground parking at Fraser.
Plus streets.
There will not be a big parking lot. There will be a small parking lot. 18.
With, it's pretty close, yeah. But we have designed a pickup drop-off space. That was part of what we heard originally. So,
That's right. You get dropped off.
yeah, yeah, you'll be dropped off right there, and you can walk right inside, and then someone will go park.
Yeah.
Okay, provide an update today about the city approval. Where are we as far as the planning process and approval process?
The question was, where are we with the city in their approval process? What an awesome question, Ken. So as of this moment, this may not be true tomorrow, it may not be true in a week. As of right now, We are expecting back our third round of comments from the site review planning staff. We expect there will be a fourth round of responses to the city, and that I think would probably happen mid-February, and then it's another month or more until we get comments. The final site review, which is the big hurdle we have to get through, is a moving target because the city will not consider vacating Ponca until work has begun to move the water main. So as of my meeting on Friday, and again, subject to change, they will start that work right at the end of February, and then they will file a request to vacate Ponca within the next couple of weeks. Then in mid-April, assuming that the vacation of Ponca is granted, which is not guaranteed, mid-April, the planning board will have an open meeting where they will make the decision of whether to approve the project or not. If they approve it, then it goes to City Council on July 29th. If they approve it, then we're off to the races. But again, that is as of Friday. It could all change. This has all changed many times. So don't quote that, don't publish that.
Yeah. All right, Ms. Bonnie.
So as you all know, we have a big south end of the building, and we have a lot of things in the big south end of the building, and we want to be intentional, very intentional about how we deal with those things, and we want not to get in a panic right at the last minute. So we are beginning to think through what is there, what do we want its ultimate disposition to be, and that's my particular role on this team. And so I will be getting in touch with some of you either because you're a member of a group or because I have thought of you as an individual who might have some real input into that and real ability to help us work on it. We're gonna have to work we want to and have to work super closely with staff on all of this because we do not want to get ahead of ourselves. We do not want to take away anything someone is using for a program. We just, at this point, are beginning the detailed planning, okay? So anything else I should say about that? Yeah. And if any of you are interested in this, if you have an interest like I have, an interest in all the history of the South End, in trying to do as much recycling, reuse of things, either here or somewhere else. If you have any interest and time, I'd love to hear from you, because it is going to be a big job.
How awesome that we have someone who wants to take that on and do that work. And you may be receiving a call from Bonnie because she has already started to imagine who might do an awesome job thinking about some of those amazing things that we have in the south end of the building and what we can do with them. If you happen to not think you're gonna get into a meeting with Sarah and you have something you wanna share about the building, please email her or write a handwritten note clearly and leave it downstairs. There is a Sarah Hughes mailbox where all the staff mailboxes are. You're welcome to put a note in there. We are blessed to have a phenomenal team of laity who are caring for this project, thinking it through on a weekly basis, giving of their time and energy, and that is not just the people who are on the rebuild team. Fred, Arthur, Gary have all spent an incredible amount of time thinking about the geothermal project and the way that that integrates to the rest of this project. There are people who are imagining what's gonna happen with the stuff on the south end of the building, what it means to be green and accountable for the things that we do as we do this project. There are so many hands and hearts that are part of this. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. As I said at the beginning, I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you have. You're welcome to come up and find me, but go and be blessed and have a wonderful day, and I hope that all the sports teams you care about do their best.